All right, hello. This is last week, week 9. We had 2 experiments this week, so knocked them both out. Biggest thing, the first one for the measuring the distance for the laser light, I was done in my kitchen, on the counter. Like I said, like I know the pre quiz was talking about how it wasn't a real hazardous smoke. We work on our hazards, but I still want to be over there. That was my pretty much my chem area that I set up and just was comfortable there with everything sitting there, so I didn't want to have to go outside of that. And the second one with the Skittles was done also in the kitchen, just because everything's there. So had a plate and all that stuff there. So that's too crazy with that. Safety precautions. I wear goggles, just safety caution from that. So other than that, that was pretty much it. Just I know the really only hazard was the laser, and I know that was touched on our pre-quiz before. So yeah, the only really hazard was just laser hazards, and just working where I work. We actually deal with air crew and laser eye protection. So we actually give them glasses that, say if a laser shot in their eye while they're flying a plane, it scrambles up the laser. So that's why I just felt like, hey, let me at least wear something to protect my eyes. All right. So results of this quiz. So the laser one, not too sure if I was doing it right, but like I said, kind of just Googled some of it, and then not Google, but YouTube it to see my setup and how all that was going. So I felt that I actually did it all right. Let me see. Light. So I think it reflects from the CD surface, just because it was, like I said, it was a disc. It was almost like a mirror, CDs are. So pretty much it reflects off of there, and the energy from there beams on to where we're going to. That's pretty much it for there. So radioactive decay. What was predictable about it? The biggest thing that I found out was predictable about the radioactive decay, so pretty much the Skittles, was at least, I don't want to say half, but I know that a good portion for each sample that I had were decaying. So what was unpredictable was pretty much like how much. So here, so first start off with 60. So when I did the first test, I had 25. That was the S still down. Afterwards, so that was a little more than half. And then after that, the second one, I had 12. The S was still down. Like I said, a little bit more than half. The last one was 4. So that was a third. So that there's, we're a little over half, and then you get to the lower numbers, and then like a third of it. And then when I had 4 left, I did that one, and then that one went to 0. So that kind of, what's unpredictable about it is how much will actually decay for each turn. So like I said, I went from almost 50 to 66% to 100% of all of them being decaying. So to me, that was the biggest thing for the predictability of this. So. All right, so self-reflection, most useful in supporting your understanding of content. Honestly, just most understanding of the content is kind of like trial and error. So with me doing a lot of these labs and stuff like that, and just seeing like, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do, and then you kind of see it work in action, it makes sense. So I know like this one here, the radioactive decay, like that. I seen it was done with a Skittles test, and I thought that was actually pretty cool, just to see how something decay, part breaks down from it, so that's what makes it flip the other way. So I thought that was actually pretty cool there. Like most useful support for in growth with lab or technique or chemical safety. Pretty much it's just the SDSs. We have those at where I work at, so a lot of chemicals we work with. We do have SDSs that we go look at. So just for the fact that, hey, like, you're working with this and it's a low grade, or there's a low probability of me actually getting exposed to something, it's still to the point where I like to read it, use it, and then like that helped me. We're like, hey, regardless of if I feel safe or whatnot, I can still grab, goggles or gloves, or make sure that this is next to me or that's next to me before even starting working. So I thought that was actually a pretty good thing that I grown to use, because a lot of times we see certain things, we see certain chemicals, and we're like, oh hey, that's not really a big deal, or hey, what's the probability of that actually, like today with me talking about the laser, like the probability of that me getting in my eyes was very low, but yet the fact that I was like, hey, I need to do this, just, practice taking that extra step for the just in case type stuff, especially dealing with chemicals and anything that can be hazardous to you. You want to actually think of that and push forward. These useful for supporting lecture content. Me, I always try to take the most out of everything I get. So the least useful for supporting this lecture, supporting lecture content. I really couldn't say it right now because I know I've gotten things from the reading, from the book that we had to, the book we had to, even our discussion posts where we're talking to each other. That was actually, I thought was really helpful, because just with me talking and everybody's like, oh, I'm having this same problem too, or hey, check your kit for this or do this. I thought it was really helpful. So, the least useful for supporting lecture content. I can't really call that one. I think, like I said, I try to find use out of all of it. And at least useful supporting the development of your laboratory skills. I don't know. I think if you're developing any type of skill, I don't find it to be like least useful, or like I try to value each of it, because, like I said, we're working with a lot of these chemicals. And like I said, anytime you take that lightly, then like I said, the worst can happen. So, like I said, with this, I don't really find any of it least useful. I find all of it, and I try to value it the same. When doing that, I feel that you will grow, and then you'll be a better person. So with that happening, you don't have to worry about, oh, let me, be complacent, and then bam, next thing you know, you got, you injured yourself or you're hurt. So other than that, awesome class. I had a good time. Each week was actually really, really fun, learning a lot. So thank you.